But now I've found a way to merge their power, combine their attack points to create... a monster with power beyond imagining! Now I create a dual monster without peer, with attack force so great that no monster can stand against him. I create the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon!
I shall fuse my mammoth graveyard with your dragon, causing it to decay from the inside.
How the hell did you do that?
It's called cheating. Deal with it.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and today's video is gluten-free, easy to digest, and 100% MFO. Now, people have been asking me for a Holy Dragon Grounds guide, and you know, if the boy gonna do a guide, he gonna try to do his best. Now, I want to preface this video with that I'm probably missing some information as far as especially getting a very high score, which is like the supposedly considered the third tier of rewards. I'm gonna break that down right now, just so you know, you guys understand it. So when you guys go into this, I could blow these 3 runs right now, but I'm such a resource guy that even for the video I don't want to show it to you guys. So pretty much it's, you didn't get 80k. That's the first tier. You didn't get 80k, you got 80k or like slightly above it, and then I think the last one is 200k, 240k, something in that nature, somewhere in that ballpark. And that's where it is. So the rewards that you guys are doing this for, the reason why this is so important is the Relic of the Dragon Destiny. This is, as you can see, it even says it here, artifact assumed to be the doesn't matter, can be used as a door creation. This is a really important resource as far as getting faded weapons and faded armor. You guys need this stuff, and honestly a lot of what goes into the Holy Dragon Grounds has little to do because as you can see I have 4 characters, and we're going to talk about the 4 character meta and how strong it is. And pretty much the 4 character meta, just you need a Dragon Blood character. When I drop my beginner's guide, I should be dropping that later on in the day, and I know you guys are, some of you guys are excited about that. That's going to be one of my biggest recommendations, is to get a Dragon Blood character. You can say what you want about them in PvP, but they're so good in PvE. They help you out in pretty much every facet of the game when it comes down to story, farming, you name it. In PvE, like literally the best things in the world. So what I want to show here, let's go to the first little aspect of this, and then we're going to go even more in depth. This is going to be decently in depth. I don't want to pat myself on the back too much. So like, let's say this, right? As you can see, there are characters that have Dragger Hunter Blessing. There are characters like her that have the Dragon Knight Blessing, so Hunter, Knight. And then you have, you know, this is a knight as well, yeah, knight. And then we have the last one, which funny enough, Maggie actually has it, the Head Dragon Knight. There's actually 3 different kinds of characters in the game that benefit from being in the Holy Dragon Grounds. So let's actually go through and find all of them, because as you can see, today is Ice Day. And I also have some video of when it's not a day, like you guys can actually check it here when you click on the, no, I clicked the wrong thing. Enemy's Guardian Stone, right? It actually goes in this order. I have to hold it. Okay, I have to hold it. So light and dark is actually a combined day, so that's 1 day. Hold on, 1 day. The next day, yesterday was fire, right? Then today's frost, then nature, then it's gonna be machine. I see that's 5 days, right? And then a 6th and 7th day is when there is nothing. There's literally no Guardian Stone, and that's usually when people try to go for a high score, because they, you know, they can just bring in the best characters that fit the strategy that's going to benefit them, right? So they can bring in the best of the best of the best. They don't have to worry about, oh, let me get the fire, because in order to do damage, you have to break the character with when you're in the elemental days. You have to break the character. If you want to be able to really do anything or do a decent amount of damage, you got to break the character. That's why here you'll see me with at least 1 additional ice character, and then the Dragon Blood. Anastasia is always going to be there because she's my most reliable Dragon Blood character, my first Guardian character. So she's always there, even though yes, it's Ice Day today, but she's always there. She's my most reliable Dragon Blood character. So before we actually go into, you know, the roles, I do want to just touch on how the dragon works. First and foremost, the dragon has the dragon strike move. It's just one of the moves that the dragon has. He will do a stronger hit to a single target character, and a lot of the other stuff that he does is AoE. So that's why the dragon blood is so good, is because he hits AoE, it triggers, all your characters get shields, as long as they're under the dragon scalability with the great one ability, yada yada yada. That's the reason why you need at least one of them in there, and 4 characters that you want to be protected by it. I'll probably go over that just to be transparent as well. So Dragon's Roar, as you can see, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Now phase 1, you will see that, I'll showcase that, what phase 1 looks like. And then there's the phase 2 Dragon Roar, which decreases attack of all enemies as well. It does more damage, it silences now, and it has a duration based on it being in that phase. And then phase 3, again, more damage and the attack and the decreased attack and silence lasts even longer. It just makes it a lot more hectic. We're trying to get to phase 3. That's where you die. Phase 1 is when the match starts. Phase 2 is when the match gets a little bit hairy, but phase 3 is when you get a decent amount of rewards, and then after phase 3 nothing changes after that. So that's the hill you die on. Then we have the Raging Breath, which is a constant attack that the dragon is going to use against you, so don't worry too much about it. It's going to come out a lot, but as you can see, teams with head dragon knights or dragon hunters have a certain amount of resistance against dragon breaths. Dragon's breaths will keep getting stronger. So yeah, the more you see this move, it's gonna keep getting stronger. And if you actually paid attention to a run, which most people probably don't, they just probably let it auto because it's full automated. So you know, you might not know what move that is, but you'll see that it's used over and over and over and over again, and then usually you die like later in. So it benefits you to do more damage overall. You want to do more damage quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker before this Raging Breath gets stronger. So that's really important to know as well. That's why it's also good to have less characters in there until your roster is stronger, or else you're just gonna end up dying. All right, so this is me cutting into my own guide, right? Because I kept hearing, this is something that I kept hearing, and I remember that it's actually, in my opinion, debunked. People were always saying that the dragon scale of order is something that is only active on certain days, but it only activates on certain phases, to be more specific. So the reason why they're saying that is that the dragon scale of order activates in phase 2. This is the dragon scale of order. As you guys can see here, it's the dragon scale of order is only activated in phase 2. You start the fight off in phase 1. When you hit that first tick, you're now going to be in phase 2. You hit that next tick, you're now in phase 3. So once it gets activated, it's going to stay activated for phase 3 as well. So I don't know why people, I felt like I've seen in other guides, I was trying to get as much information as possible before doing this, is that people were saying that like only on certain days that, like, you know, the dragon scale of order is activated, but I feel like that's not true. That's, at least that's not what the game currently says. If it's a typo, then please let me know. But it's, oh, you always have to have a dragon hunter in there, or a dragon hunter or dragon knight in there, because they're going to do more damage as soon as phase 2 hits, and you're going to see your damage drop off. All right, so last but not least, the dragon's dignity decreases the attack, defense, and health of heroes that are a different element. This is only, and I'll show that to you as well, this is only when they have this thing. So right now it's the Frost Dragon, so all the characters that are not Frost will do less damage. And this effect grows stronger with each phase, so yes, they'll do less and less damage. At phase 3, the hero's attack increases with each round. Now that top part is only relevant on elemental days, but the last part is always there. At phase 3, the hero's attack will increase each round. You will see that. I will showcase that to you guys, so you guys will have an idea of what that looks like. So now we know the game plan. I think that's like pretty basic. We now have a decent understanding. So what do we have to do? We have to check what the element is, if there's an element at all. Make sure that there's characters that have that element, so that when we go into the fight, we can do the best that we can. And don't be afraid if you're a beginner that you're not getting 80k. I didn't get 80k when I first started. I was doing the classic one of these. Suggest, okay, that must be the best thing to do. Hit start. As you can see, 3 million. Ah! You know, it looks good, right? You think that they're going to get a high score, but I've found that doing this some of the times, or well, most of the time, if not any, would just destroy me. you really have to pick what characters that you want in the fight, and that will raise your score at least to getting the 80k, which, like I said, as you saw the threshold, right, it's below 80k, and then 80, like once you get 80k, that's 100 something things, which you'll see. But if you don't, like, the next tier is so far up, if it's like 200,000, then why are you bothering if you get like 100 or like 150? Like, even if the reward is slightly better, most people have reported that the better, like the next step of reward is like at 200k plus. So like, don't even bother, don't stress yourself out. If you're gonna get below 80k, just accept that that's what you're gonna get. Once you can hit 80k, make sure that you're hitting that on a consistent basis. So let's go into the journal, because you need to know who these units are. They don't readily tell you. They kind of do, but they don't. As you can see here, by me going here, I actually filter Holy Dragon Grounds. I have it filtered to Holy Dragon Grounds. But when you're actually in your managed heroes, it's not that good, because Anastasia is one, but Rudley is not. Because guess what? Rudley is just a commonly used character. I've used him so much. He's a high rated character. He's on a lot of my teams. So they're gonna say he's filtered into that. Even though the only character that I could think is even filtered is like maybe her, but no, she's used it on a team as well. I also know that he's not, but you know, I have it filtered. So unfortunately, you do have to use the journal. If you want to find them anyway, if you want to know who they are, and maybe you're not familiar with that. And I actually have more characters under that, so maybe I'm using the filter wrong, but I'm gonna go and find every single one for you guys so you have an idea. And let's go by element. So we're gonna go in this straight line. So fire, I'm gonna show you guys all of them. Actually, it's really easy to find them in the journal, right? Because they actually go in order. So once you're in the journal, everyone, like, he's not, right? Yeah, he's a Zebunsteiner. All right, so most of them are gonna be in order. So Maggie, Sabrina, David Johnson, Brooke, and Otard's the last one. The last one is going to be Otard. So those are the characters that on Fire Day, you're gonna want one of them. That's it. So I'm just showing you guys them, and then I'm gonna break it down. I probably will have like a screen, or I'll just put up each role for each thing, because there are a difference. We're gonna go through that after we find all the characters, so at least you can write them down. I think that's what I'm asking you guys to do. Write down all these characters, put it in a notepad, like I have them in a notepad, so you guys can always access it. Oh, is this character good? Because once again, David Johnson is a 4.4, but if depending on your summoning luck or whatever like that, and he's a Dragon Knight Blessing, which means he does more damage against the Dragon Scales of Order. But you see his rating, you might just throw him away, and he might be your only Dragon Knight Blessing character. So I hope you guys understand why I'm saying that. Let's go over to Frost. Same thing, going in order. Bernadette, Anastasia, Degas, Reed Marie, yes. And last but not least is going to be Karina, or Karina. That's actually why right now, and I'll probably do a guide on her today. Maybe I'll do a guide on her after this video, because I still need to work on the beginner video. I want to make sure that I got everything that I want to touch on, but I might review her after this video, just for the fact that she's currently right now in the game able to be obtained from the side story. So like our hero battle, I think it's called. So this character is literally one of the best. Honestly, this character is so good, you might actually want to have her, like how I said, Dragon Blood, and then maybe even have her in there. That's how good she is. She's so good. She's so stupidly good. And the fact is that I'm going to show you guys in this video that I'm going to raise her up a little bit. I'm going to do one run without her, and I'm going to do another run with her, and just show you how stupid that it's probably that I guarantee I'll get a higher number. That's how confident I am about that. Next element, nature. Same deal with the nature. This one actually does not start up here. It actually just starts off with Talia, as we showed you before. Chatty, Ben 10, and then Tantalo. He's the last one. Next up is Machine. So Malhar, Bernavus, about God's bosom, Duncan, Deva, and last but not least, my man Lyogen. Lyogen? I don't know how to say his name. Grandpa. And we're going into Light. Light has like, I think only like what, two? Yes, literally has 2, which is only Liechtenstein, Ingerman Jensen, and Fierce. Only 2. Again, and you guys think I'm kidding when I say Light gets the shaft, man. Like, Don't even have that many characters in light. They're like not that many characters, and I feel like they have the worst elemental mana gain. Just saying. But that's a discussion for another video. And then last but not least is Dark, which again, very low amount. The reason being is that I feel like those 2 days that it is light and dark. But yes, it's Emma, Bailey, and Sharpie. Those are the 3 that's in there. So now that you guys have every single character that you could potentially be saving to do as well, like I said, like as you can see here, like I don't have this character, right? Even though I know she's not Dragon Ground, right? But I don't have this character, right? So there's a possibility that some of the characters that I named you don't have, especially some of the faded, you might not have them. So just do the best that you can, and I'm speaking specifically on the days where there is no elemental advantage. So, or when you start looking to do, well, I raised enough of these Dragon Ground characters from the different days, can I start going for a high score? I mean, the only way you could test that literally is by just doing a run and seeing how high you get, you know? And once you realize, oh, I can get up to 200k, then boom, you're good. So I can't tell you like, oh, once, like, how could I actually tell you that? Like when, oh, once you have two faded gears, that character, like, no, you have to just test it out yourself. And that's why I would never say like, at this point you could do it. You just test it. I was testing a lot, and then eventually I got up into 80k, and now I'm consistently at 100k, and I'm slowly progressing towards getting past 100k. Now I'll get 120, 130, 140, and then until I get 200k. That's how it's gonna work. So let's break down the actual these roles, right? Because the roles are even more important of which characters that you want to have in your fight. So we're gonna use today's date as a precursor from when I'm doing this event, right? So today is Frost, right? So when I go into Frost, I do have Bernadette. I can go over to her thing, and she is a Dragon Knight, and she's a head Dragon Knight. So boom, we're getting 2 birds out of the way currently. So Dragon Knight Blessing increases damage dealt to dragons with the dragon scale of order activated by 250%. But pretty much the dragon just gets a crazy amount of defense, and only these characters that have Dragon Knight Blessing will do damage to them, well, do decent damage to them, to be more specific. You can still hurt them, but it just won't do as much. These characters are going to do a lot. So on those days, these characters are going to be dramatically important that you have them in there, and as many of them as possible. That's kind of why they're important. Now the head Dragon Knight should be on every single day, at least one of them. That's that element in my opinion. Head Dragon Knight all, which means it affects your entire team, decreases damage from raging breath by 50%, increases damage reduce effect to the ally with Dragon Knight Blessing, which is the thing that you see up top, by additional 20. So for her, you know, she's gonna take a dramatically less amount of damage, but the more characters that you have in there that have the Dragon Knight Blessing will take less damage as well. So like I said, that covers 2 of them. There's only 3, as you can see, Dragon Knight Blessing. So again, you need at least 1 character in your squad of that day that has head Dragon Knight. You only need 1, because guess what, can't apply with other head Dragon Knights. So you only need 1 of them. You don't need to raise 16,000 of them. You need to have 1 of them. And yes, you have per day, but obviously when you do your big mega fight day, you probably want 1 head Dragon Knight and a whole bunch of Dragon Knight Blessings. And then the last one is going to be the god, is going to be her, which is the Dragon Hunter Blessing. The Dragon Hunter is a little bit different. They still have that, you know, increased damage dealt to dragons with the scale. They still have that, very similar, but the difference is that they take even additionally less damage. And the reason why this is kind of good, in my opinion, is that, like, especially when this one dies, like the head Dragon Knight dies, you can see that that's 70%, right? But when that character dies, it's gone. So the beauty of this is that this character is taking the same pretty much damage reduction, but if that head Dragon Knight happens to die, you'll still be able to push out a lot of damage. That's pretty much the only difference that I can see of it. So those are your 3 roles outside of, well, the 3 roles within the role of Holy Dragon Crowns, right? I hope I didn't lose anybody, and if I did, you can just rewind, and I think I'm explaining it right. And this is what I'm always scared of when I do guides like this, is that I'm going to confuse someone to hell. But I think that that's pretty understandable. I think that you should be able to see, okay, these are the characters that I have, let me start working on them, because it literally is going to progress your account. I'm just going to show you guys this as an option, even though I don't do it anymore myself, is that the Fate Weapon Craft, that's where you're going to use this material. You can use 2000 here. This gives you a guaranteed weapon craft as you can see, it only is limited to these weapons, and it's going to give you 3 weird options for physicals and 3 weird options for magical. So that's just kind of where it is. The reason I currently, it's like I feel like I'm speaking on religion. I don't believe in the airship forge anymore. I now just go to door creation. Door creation, as you can see here, it costs 50 per roll. So if you do the math, and that other one was 2,000, right? In order to get it guaranteed based on this pity here, which is 80, I would need 4,000. So the pity is at a higher. It is higher, so you would expect, well, why don't you go to the other one? It's because if I have to spend 2,000, one, I have a chance to get exclusive, as you can see, a big wide variety of weapons to choose from here. Also, if you happen to land on a character like this one exclusive to Baraka, he gets a benefit from using that. So and you can still add it to another character that's not Baraka, which is really good, you know. So you also have the chance to get these as well, which is like the random ones, but more importantly, you have a chance to get these purples and these blues. The reason why is because eventually in your account, especially if you're a beginner, you're eventually going to want to get away from the greens and then have all blues, and then eventually you want to get rid of all your blues and have all purples, and then some magical way down the line, which will take a lot of people a decent amount of time, you're going to want to have all yellows. A lot of the times you guys might see in PvP or daily tournaments that this all yellow. It's like everyone is literally, you know, you see these massive guardian stones on the armor and stuff like that. It's going to take you a while to get there, and that's one of the resource farms, and then the other one is the faded equipment, which is the special stages that we were talking about earlier. So you need to get up there, you need to do that, and that's why it's so important to get your dragon team ready, because it's going to spill over into other aspects of the game. All right, so I'm ready to do a run. So I'm gonna add in my dragon blood character. Like I said, it is Frost. So my Bernadette is not raised that well. Like you can see, her power is very low, but just for transparency reasons, I'm gonna add her in, right? So now I have dragon blood, I have a head dragon in there that's also that element, which I like. That's kind of how I like to have it. And then the rest of them, I want to run a dragon hunter. Deva just happens to be phenomenal. She's one of the dragon hunters, and there's only 4 dragon hunters in the game, which I'll show that on screen. And let's see, I just need another dragon hunter. Now here I can go with Maggie. She has a dragon head hunter thing, but she's, as you can see, one of my best geared. I could even go with Rudley here. Rudley's not that bad to go with. Another ice character that has the thing would be good as well because of the way Wrath works. But I'm just gonna go with Rudley here just for extra DPS with his burst skill. And then we'll change Rudley out for Karina in the next run. And I'll explain this really quickly after the first hit, and then I'm just gonna skip to the end. The reason why you want a Dragon Blood character is not just because the shield is phenomenal. Here goes one of the attacks. It's because of the way that the Wrath counter works. DPS. Damage is damage. Is not the way the Wrath counter in these days specifically. I don't think you need it necessarily for, you know, the weekend days, unless you're trying, like I said, go for a high score. But these are 10. It takes 10 to break. 10 Guardian Stones to break. So the more of the proper element that you have. Let me just turn it down because it won't be loud for you guys, but it's loud for me. So there goes the first, right? 25 is the first break. First phase, sorry. So now you can see he's in the air, he's pissed. That is the first phase. So phase 1 is done. I think I was misquoting that. I kind of forgot that there's a 25, right? So now, I was talking about the tier of rewards, right? But not the phase of the fight, right? So now we are in this is phase 2. I wish I can stop it so we can actually check the dragon so to prove that. But you'll start to see that your damage is going down a little bit. And also you'll see what I was trying to say about the Wrath counter is that literally now is that you will see, it's probably triggered a couple times, is that each character under this, as right now we have 2, right? So if they all hit, they might not always hit, sometimes he dodges, whatever, that will actually trick those, will actually trigger those things. And this is another reason why Karina is going to be such a problem, because of the block. The dragon blocks a lot, and that's free mana for ice. Block, there goes another block. Now keep in mind that Karina doesn't have burst. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily matter all too much. Here we go, we got a break. I guess I'm just doing the whole run, even though I said I wasn't going to. Okay, I won't do the next run. But see, we're gonna hit that 80K pretty soon. Maybe not in that one. Nope, still not that. He's gonna do a single target attack. Ouchies. The raft, nope. This one? Maybe? Sorta? There we go. And as you can see, that would have did way more than 80-20, but it's the next threshold. As you can see, when the threshold gets hit, he immediately goes into his next phase. This is phase 3. So now you can see increased attack. You probably just saw it right there. So boom, increased attack. He's going to start gaining a bunch of nonsense. He's going to get stronger. Deva is a shrine. You can see, oh, we're going to eat that. 2 took off that time because both of Bernadette and Anna's Wrath counter hit him. So, ouchies, another thing. I think that's the attack and the silence. Yeah, see, as you can see here, you could tell what phase he's in. He's definitely in that phase. Unless I'm bugging and there's another phase after this, but I have not seen that. And this, as you can see, got stronger and stronger. And that's why I say that you want to get into the 80Ks as quick as possible, because now he's so strong. He's getting stronger. His move's getting stronger. Look at, I'm doing 1 damage, 2 damage. Why? Because she's not a well, she actually is a dragon hunter, but oh yeah, the decreased attack, sorry, forgetting all the stuff that's happening. The decreased attack was active at that moment. So as you can see here, I knew that I was gonna get at least 80. I got 102 and the match is done. One thing that I see a lot of people doing is that they're running very stally stuff. They're taking a dramatically long time and they're still gonna end up with 105. You know, so there's no point of doing that. Bring in 4 characters, Dragon Blood, Head Dragon Knight, and Dragon Hunters, or stuff that support the element of the day, and you should be fine. You should start to eventually get up to 80K. Once you get to 80K, it doesn't matter. You get up to that phase, you're good to go. Now let's do a little bit of experiment. I'm going to take out Rudley, and we're going to add in Karina, but I have to level her up. Alright, let's see how good we do now. It's a little bit biased because it is Frost Day, but you know, because now the Wrath is going to do an additional Guardian Stone break, it has a chance to, but it's still really strong. Alright, well, she technically scored higher. I don't know if that was directly because of her. I think it was having the extra element though. I don't know, I watched the run and I was like, every time she did a move, it was blocked. Not her fault, but every time she did a move, it was blocked. So, you know, once you actually get the runs done, you're gonna go down to your currency, eat all that up. So we got 200. Now to make this video complete, they'll give me a weapon. 15 summons on here, we'll at least get the mileage, right? So this is the currency, this is how it works, this is what you're gonna be doing. Hopefully, come on, make the video look better than it is. Trash. Nah, not super trash, but especially for people that are raising their account, getting 3 purples is really good. It's actually really good. And a couple blues, a bunch of blues. Like I said, I'm phasing out blues out of my current account because I don't want blues anymore. It does cost money to take purples away, so I can see an argument of people just keeping blues on shittier characters. But can I hold this down? That's just the difference, like 5.8 all the way up to 8%, depending on the luck of the year, versus starting at 8 to 10%. Like it's night and day. And then of course faded is much higher than that, but faded is harder to obtain. But once you start getting purple at a crazy rate, then why would you ever do this? Yeah, you lose gold when you take it off, but eventually you'll get enough that every character will just have purple. That's my goal. That's my personal goal anyway. You don't have to make that your goal. And also, like I said, now that we did that, we did this enough time, we got our pity. So now, Door of the Creation, now we have a free, not free, but faded weapon, boom, and this is a magical faded weapon as well. Just like that. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I have no idea. I've been recording for almost 50 minutes. 50 minutes. So I don't know how long the video is actually going to be, but I want to pack in a whole bunch of information and things of that nature. Hopefully some of you guys can find this useful. If there's any additional tips that I missed out, feel free to leave it in the comment section, because that's going to help other people if there's something I missed out. And of course, I'll have to update this if they change the way that the dragon works. So yeah, there is that. Anywho, just remember that every day at the casino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.